Hi, I'm Carlos, and this is my project over the Etruscan temple that I chose to do for my art history class. The reason I chose this temple is because I just I like how it stood out to me whenever we learned about it in class, and I thought it was just very cool and unique compared to temples we think of when we think of temples like the Greek ones, their counterparts. And so far what I have is the stone foundation, with a couple pillars. And as you can see, I added some more here, and I started working on the inside of the temple. And I added a couple designs in the front. Okay, and I want to give you some facts about the Etruscan temples on how they were really vibrant, lively places, and they were made of like humble materials, like naturally owned materials like wood, lots of wood, mud bricks, and things like that. One thing that makes them very, very unique compared to other temples, like the Greek ones, is they rarely used marble. Most of the structures, except obviously the foundation here, is made out of wood. Sorry, and yes, I know the roof right here is red, but they would paint the wood sometimes different colors, to make it more vibrant, like I said. And right here I finished the roof, and I did the outside layer of the building, and I added some figures at the top because sometimes they would decorate their temples with figures or like structures at the top. And I have these little rooms right here with artifacts. So sometimes they would have their sacred little artifacts in some rooms. Now, one thing to also mention about the Etruscan temple compared to the Greek ones, or that the pillars, as shown in the beginning of the video and right now, are only at the front of the temple. They don't surround the temple like the Greek counterparts. Another thing to add on is that Etruscan temples were made to only be entered in from the front, not from any other direction. Now, again, adding on to their three little rooms that I built, these were mostly, These were mostly for the gods that they worshipped, these sacred three rooms. Also because the Etruscan temples were mostly made out of wood and mud bricks. One thing is that we don't have many ruins left because the wood and mud brick don't really last that long compared to the stone foundation. That's why really the last things that would be found of the Etruscan temples were the foundations, because they were the most sturdiest. Really the only way we have recollection of these temples is from Roman descriptions, and also these Etruscan temples were direct ancestors of the Roman temples. The Romans even went as far to copy the high platforms, the front steps, and the single entryway, even though they added their own twists, like having columns all around their temples, unlike the Etruscans. And yeah, this is my finished design here. I have everything, as you saw, the main room, the middle room. I added were places where you could lay, where you could worship, things like that, and everything like that. And I don't know, this is my finished product for my Etruscan temple.